Here's something that should infuriate every parent who's hoping to cover the cost of college for their children, and every college student who's shouldering thousands of dollars of student loans to cover the cost themselves. The University of Pennsylvania just jacked up the cost of undergraduate attendance by 3.8% to just under $50,000 a year. Why'd they do this in the middle of the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression? Why do the people running Penn, my sister's alma mater, think they need make tuition even more expensive? You'll love this. You know why? Because their endowment lost 19% of its value in the second half of 2008. And virtually every other private university is cutting back on financial aid for the same reason, to compensate for being less well endowed. But it's not like they're broke. Penn still has $5 billion in its endowment, and that's small for an Ivy League school. Shouldn't they be using that money? For years, university endowments soared in value. The people running them were considered geniuses, and these schools made boatloads of money with their investments. Let me ask you, do you remember any of them lowering the cost of tuition when they were flush with cash? Did any Ivy League school ever say, well, our endowment is up double digits this year, so we're going to help out our students and help families by lowering tuition? Nope. When the endowments were making lots of money, these schools raised tuition. Now that their endowments have been pancaked, they're either raising tuition or slashing financial aid. What's the logic here? I think the tail's wagging the dog. These schools are putting their endowments first and their educational mission second. Weird, given that they're supposed to be nonprofits and they solicit millions of dollars of donations every year from alumni. Universities are being run like hedge funds, as my writer, amanuensis, and nephew, Cliff Mason, pointed out in his unbelievably great must-read Millennial Money blog on CNBC.com. I think the best column. I read it right after the show is over. Hey, by the way, a little nepotism never hurt anybody, especially when it comes to college admissions. I think this situation is outrageous. Colleges should use their endowments to fund education. They shouldn't use the tuition they get from students to help offset shortfalls in their endowments. And if you're an alum, here's what I would do. Think twice before you donate to a school that cares more about its hoard of cash than higher education at a time when student loan money seems to be drying up by the day. They have money's back yet.